You are listening to KSG Podcast. This is a short, crisp, concise, exam oriented, edited editorial for civil services aspirants. The topic of the podcast is Where Space Really Begins. Source for the content is a piece by Crystal Herr for the Wall Street Journal. Scientists say determining the boundaries of space is fuzzy, but billionaires Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson have ignited the debate as they race to jumpstart a space tourism industry. For much of the world, the boundary to space is considered the imaginary Kármán line, which starts around 62 miles above Earth and which Bezos and his Blue Origin LLC capsule is scheduled to cross on 20th of July 2021. The Federal Aviation Administration considers space starting 50 miles above Earth and those that fly above that level as astronauts. Branson and the rest of his Virgin Galactic Holdings Inc. crew received their astronaut wing badges after passing that boundary but staying below the Kármán line. Experts say there is little difference in the passenger experience at the high points of the Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic flights, but their contrasting paths have led to a renewed examination of where space begins, an answer that differs based on whether you are approaching the question from a scientific, commercial, or legal viewpoint. Scientists recognize that there are a lot of different ways to define the boundaries of space, said Catherine De Clear, a professor of astronomy and planetary science at the California Institute of Technology. De Clear said there is not a consensus about where space starts among planetary scientists. She defines the boundaries to space for Earth and other planets to be the base of the exosphere, which the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, that is NASA, defines as the outermost layer of the atmosphere. However, she said, applying that definition to Earth, where the base of the exosphere is around 435 miles high, would mean the Hubble Space Telescope and International Space Station are still in Earth's atmosphere. Hubble and the space station orbit at roughly 340 miles and 250 miles above Earth, respectively. The Kármán line is the internationally recognized boundary to space set by the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, an international aeronautics record-keeping body. Theodore von Kármán, an engineer and mathematician in the 1950s, calculated the altitude at which lift from the air can no longer keep winged craft aloft. A practical way to consider where space begins is by considering the type of vehicle needed to fly, said Elisa Goodman, a professor of applied astronomy at Harvard University. Airplanes can fly in the Earth's atmosphere because the air pressure provides lift to the aircraft's wings. However, to get to space, a spacecraft needs propulsion to get past the Kármán line. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin has boasted in tweets that its new Shepard spacecraft was designed to fly above the Kármán line, so none of our astronauts have an asterisk next to their name. Bezos' company said that going above the line makes for a different experience. Gregory Chamitov, a professor of aerospace engineering at Texas A&M University and a former NASA astronaut, said people won't be able to tell the difference between being 50 miles and 62 miles above Earth. On both trips, passengers experience a few minutes of weightlessness. As per whether Virgin passengers should get an asterisk for not passing the Kármán line, Mr. Chamitov said that's kind of silly. Branson said his Virgin Galactic experience on the 11th of July 2021 was beyond his wildest dreams and that he took notes to enhance the trip for the company's future passengers. After landing on the 11th of July, he said, and I quote him here, "The only way you can sometimes find these little things is to get in spaceship and go to space and experience it." Unquote. The view of Earth is not much different at those levels, Goodman said. Neither set of passengers will be high enough to see the Earth as a sphere, but they will still see a black sky and the Earth's curvature, she said. The biggest difference will be in the passengers' experiences during takeoff and landing, Mr. Chamitov said. Virgin Galactic's passengers are in a spacecraft that is carried about 8.5 miles above Earth by a mothership before being dropped and rocketing into space. After a few minutes at the edge of space, the spacecraft glides back to Earth unpowered. Other than when the spacecraft rockets into space, the experience is likely similar to being in an airplane, Chamitov said. On the other hand, Blue Origin's passengers are in a capsule on top of a rocket and will experience more acceleration at takeoff, Shamitov said. Passengers then return to Earth in the capsule under parachutes, which could lead to a bumpier landing, he said. Defining space also has legal and political implications. Countries concerned about national sovereignty want space to be higher so they can claim more airspace, said Michael Kazarian, a professor of astronautics practice at the University of Southern California and fellow of the International Association for the Advancement of Space Safety. The IAASS has advocated for considering three zones rather than just aerospace and outer space, with the middle zone, which it calls near space, being subject to a different set of rules than air or space travel. The organization considers near space to be from around 11 miles to around 99 miles above sea level. Near space includes suborbital flight. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 states that all countries are free to explore outer space with no nation able to stake a claim. There are no rules governing how high a spacecraft can go. Getting consensus treaties approved to define where space is has been difficult because of the uncertainty of the future of space travel, Kazarian said. That's it for this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. To join KSJ India courses and to crack the IELTS exam, visit ksjindia.com. You can also get a PDF of this podcast on ksjindia.com. Thanks for listening.